It's easy to be stressed when we have too much to do. That's why some people gravitate towards productivity systems and seek out ways to get their lives in control. Hi, I'm Dave Edwards. Today, productivity and flexibility. From time to time, I get to talk with David Allen, the author of GTD, Getting Things Done. Don't miss any of these segments. Subscribe now, please. David Allen's basic theory is that by following his methodology, we can stop the anxiety and achieve mind like water, where your stress drops because we know that everything we need to do is carefully written down into a trusted system. Yet I sometimes hear from people who say that GTD has too many rules and is hard to follow. They think it stifles creativity. I put that question to David himself.
Well, it depends on which part of the methodology. You know, some people resist detail, some people resist vision. So a lot of people think, well, that GTD is really about all the details of managing your action list and so forth. Whereas a big part of GTD is being clear about your multiple horizons of commitments that you have. And those horizons may be what's your vision, where you're going, what's going to be critical for you in terms of lifestyle or career or whatever. That's as much GTD as anything else. It's just more subtle, to be able to get things that have your attention about that. So some people have a lot of attention. They're paying on vision, they're paying on purpose, they're paying on their principles and their values, and they're very good about that. A lot of times you have sort of visionary leaders that are of that sort, and they hate detail. It's like throwing them into quicksand. If they had to come down to do that level of stuff. So again, a lot of people misconstrue that GTD is more about the operational action level as opposed to those other levels of commitments. The reason GTD is so focused and so many people focus on and appreciate the operational action level is because that's the one that's most often out of control. And that's where a lot of collateral damage goes on from the leaders is there. They either are not delegating, they're not tracking what they do delegate. They don't, then stuff comes around and bites them in the butt on the back end. Mm-hmm. And so, it's kind of a simple answer is no. I haven't seen any difference in uptake. I've seen a difference in people's how fast people, for instance, take to action lists. Yeah, then the very detail oriented people and people who like to kind of put their ducks in a row and see all that. And yeah, they'll tend to probably pick that piece up faster than people who feel like they're in quicksand to do that level of stuff.
I think to your point though about how it is somewhat more easy to ignore that higher level planning and thinking. Pardon my shameless production, but I wrote this book on leadership, and one of the things that I talked about is a personal story that when I became a manager for the first time, I was so focused on managing that I really wasn't thinking about leading. I wasn't thinking about where the organization needed to be. I was just like focused on making sure that we were, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. And it wasn't until I really started spending more time on that higher level stuff that I feel like I really became a leader.
Yeah, good point. So I think at that level of game, it's more subtle in terms of how people sort of relate to the GTD process itself. But a lot of times, people that are good at visionary, their weak suit is implementation, and so making them feel a lot more comfortable that they know how to do that, or they can trust that their vision will be implemented because they've got their own systematic way to manage that. Mm-hmm. But that's oftentimes their weak suit.
David Allen is the author of GTD, Getting Things Done. And I get to talk with David periodically. It's a great honor for me to be able to do that. And I like to ask him questions that you have on your mind. If you have questions for David that you'd like me to bring up in a future segment, post them below. I'd love to read them, and maybe I can add them into a future segment. Oh, by the way, I have a free weekly newsletter on productivity, leadership, management, GTD, Evernote. I write about all sorts of productivity things. My newsletter's free, comes out every Tuesday. All you have to do, go to my website, daveedwardsmedia.com, click on contact, send me your contact information, and I'll take it from there. I'm Dave Edwards. Hey, thanks for joining me today.